My personal style, my goodness, it's hard to define what my personal style is. It's I suppose most people would define me as quite sort of the dapper gentleman in many ways. Pretty much because I just very much support sort of British tailoring, British manufacturing. So all my suits are actually made from Savile Row, where suiting and tailoring was started really. So I'm quite an advocate for everything British. So I'm always in my three-piece suits. But like today, you know, when I'm sort of a bit more casual than it's the usual pair of jeans and a t-shirt and a good leather jacket or something. Depends what you define as a gentleman. So you'd probably have to say 3 items. I mean, I always say just if you get a good three-piece suit, you can separate it so you don't have to wear it all together. So it's a bit of a cheat in some ways, but you get three outfits in one. Good pair of shoes. Most men haven't quite worked out yet that women look at their shoes before anything else. So always a good quality pair of shoes. And then I just think probably a good plain shirt. I think if you get the basics right, and then you can accessorise from there really, watches and handkerchiefs and such, but they're not essential. My dream car, I drove it this year. I mean, this time there's one of 16. Well, there was one of 16 made, and there's not sure how many more on the road now. And it's a Jaguar XK SS. It's what Steve McQueen used to drive around in. Steve McQueen got rid of his after years of driving it, and then he missed it so much after a few years he bought it back. And there's a great story of how he got caught by the police speeding. It's a very fast car, and he had his pregnant wife in the passenger seat. And when he pulled over, he told his wife to pretend to be in labour so he could get out. So the policeman said, "Of course." So he drove her to the ambulance, to the hospital, and they walked in on a wheelchair. And then the policeman went and he walked back out, and they got in the car and drove away. It's a famous Steve McQueen. So that's my dream car anyway. But they're worth about 20 million, so I'm not sure if I'll ever get one. I think we'll take one step at a time. I think men are gradually sort of taking care of their appearance with their clothing, and I think it's a natural progression then to move on to grooming a bit more. But I don't really do much, huge amounts myself. I use a good moisturiser with a good sun factor in it, and some sort of anti-aging stuff now, creams at night. So there's just one cream, and but I'm lucky. It's what's recommended to me to be by makeup artists, and they know the great stuff. There's certain things that you can learn. Tom Ford does a great bronzer. You mentioned bronzer to a guy and he gets very, very scared, but it's the same as a little bit of a moisturiser. You put it on, you look a bit more healthy. That's a simple fact. So I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Men are just very scared of they think grooming means makeup or something, and they're going to have to be putting eyeliner or blusher on or something, but it's not true. I have. I've been all over actually. So I've been to Malaysia, I've been to Borneo, to Philippines this year or last year. So I keep saying this year. I forget we're in 2014 now. All over China, Singapore, Hong Kong. I love Shanghai. That was my favourite place so far. But I'm yet to visit. Wow, 5 years is a long way to predict. I couldn't have dreamt where I was or where I am now 5 years ago. Of course, I hoped, and this is my aim of where I wanted to be. But many opportunities open up, and you can't predict those. So. You never know. There might be a clothing line, David Gandy clothing line. I think I'll step away from being in front of the camera so much. It'll probably be behind the camera, and if I'm involved in the creative process, I'm not gonna cast myself. I'm not gonna put myself in the role. So it will be giving sort of younger models the opportunities I had, but with me as a bit more of a creative, I suppose. Many places, many. Yeah, a house in Malibu. Would be quite nice, but there's loads of places I could settle. The Amalfi Coast in Italy would be a dream. I still love England. I've lived in England all my life, and I've just built a house there. So, if anything, I'm nesting in London still for a while. But again, you never know. I might meet a girl one day, and she won't want to live in London, and I'll have to go and live where she lives. I always just thank my fans. My fan base is getting bigger and bigger, so I just thank them very much for supporting me, and I try and reply on Facebook to as many people as I can. I probably write to a good 50 to 100 messages a day, so if they need to they need to ask me something or they need to get in contact, then Facebook is the way, and that's a way of sort of my little saying thank you to them.
Thank you so much, David, for today.
Thank you. Pleasure. Thank you.